Hi everyone, my name is Maria. I am a student at Cardiff University on the Conservation Practice Masters. Today I will be taking you through a example chemical solvent cleaning in which we will be cleaning a tile with various layers of polymers on it. So let's head on right to the lab. It is a fairly common occurrence in conservation to be faced with an object that requires chemical cleaning. Sometimes, if your budget and access to equipment allow, you can use scientific analysis to zero in on what type of solvent would be most effective. Otherwise, good old trial and error could be the way to go. Understanding the chemical properties of adhesives and being able to identify possible polymers through their properties and interactions with solvents is beneficial in this line of work. For this practice cleaning, I have a plain white ceramic tile that has been covered by layers of different polymers. Each has been mixed with a pigment to be more easily identifiable. In real-life situations, this might not be the case. They may be see-through, much harder to separate, or have layers of dirt stuck in between. In this exercise, I know that at least one of the following 5 solvent will remove each layer: water, white spirits, acetone, IMS, and toluene. I'm working my way methodically through each solvent, identifying exactly which ones are effective on which layer, and noting my findings down. For the ease of the experiment, I'll be keeping to the same order for each layer, using small test spots in the corner of the tile to determine which solvent is best for each layer before working in a bigger field. As you can see, water and white spirit do not affect this green layer. Acetone has effectively removed it and not affected the layer below. The IMS has not removed the green layer, but it has had an interesting effect and changed the surface texture a little bit. Toluene has removed both the first green layer and the orange layer underneath it. This is not ideal if we want to strictly control the removal process. Control is very important in conservation. Going slowly, always testing the methods we want to apply to an object on small areas before implementing a full treatment is key. On a real conservation project, it may be the case that we need to remove the first 1 or 2 layers on the surface of an object without disturbing the layers below. On the orange layer, we see that water and acetone have no effect, but the white spirit has removed it. The IMS here again has an interesting effect where it is not removing the layer but is leaving behind a white residue. Below this layer is another green. Although the pigment is similar, it is a different polymer to the layer on top. Here we see it is easily dissolved in water, acetone and IMS, but white spirit and toluene have had no effect. Both the acetone and IMS have also gone all the way down through the blue layer to the original tile. So, water has no effect on the blue layer, but acetone and IMS do. White spirit again has no effect, but toluene cleans it well. So, in this case, compiling all of my findings, I would suggest the following solvents to clean each layer individually without affecting the one below. For the green, I would say acetone. For the orange, white spirit. For the green second layer, I would say water. And for blue, either IMS or toluene. Here you can see me remembering that I didn't actually note down one of the reactions for layer number 3, but I've just filled that in and gone ahead and circled the correct solvent to use. Knowing all the effects of the solvents, I can move on to the main cleaning. In this exercise, my goal is to create a clear division between each layer to show the different polymers. The process can be long, and as you can see, I'm disposing of all my cotton buds into this little jar. I will go through many of these little swabs. The green layer doesn't give me that much trouble, although I have to go over the same area again and again, working in small areas with slow controlled movements, which obviously here look quite frantic when they're sped up, but I am trying to just work away a little bit at a time with the correct solvent. The orange layer is the one that gives me the most trouble here. You can't really see that well due to the quality of the video, but it is gunking up into these kind of solid particles that are quite tacky, so it is very difficult to remove it and keep my sanity in the process. I'm kind of working my way through it, and I noticed that whilst the white spirit is doing a good job, the toluene might be better. I give the tile a few minutes just to let the white spirit evaporate, and then I go in with toluene, which is actually more effective on this orange layer. Sometimes you will find that during conservation, during the process of cleaning something, even if you have done test swabs, you might notice that it's reacting negatively, or perhaps it's not doing as good of a job on a larger surface area. So conservation plans are quite flexible, and they do sometimes require altering on the go. Obviously, it's very important to note these things down and keep a nice documentation of what you've been doing. But yes, so I go in with the cotton swabs, just again trying to remove that layer without affecting the one below it. So eventually, as we come to the end, you can see that I've created this almost step effect, where you can clearly see the division between the different layers, not only in the pigments but also in the thickness. We've cleaned all the way down to the original tile, and we can possibly go backwards and work from these findings to find out what the polymers actually are. Different polymers, again, obviously, depending on the properties, will be dissolved by different solvents, and so we can actually work backwards from what solvents have worked on a polymer and possibly theorize what kind of group of polymers they may be in. To keep things simple, I'll just cut right to the chase and tell you the answers. So the first green layer was actually paraloid B72. The orange layer underneath was something called regolres. The second green layer was cellulose ether, and the blue was just plain acrylic paint. So, having finished my task for today, noting down all of my findings, the one thing left to do is safely dispose of my cotton wool waste and put the solvents back in their places in the fume cupboards.